Today on Conversational Liner Notes, we welcome Brandon Nisnik, aka Wise Owl, and Tony Devonish of Rebelation to discuss 9-Inch Reggae, the 2022 12-inch EP of Nine Inch Nails covers. Featuring Rebelation's cover of Every Day Is Exactly the Same on side A and Wise Owl's cover of Right Where It Belongs on side B, as well as two dub versions by Black Market Dub. 9-Inch Reggae is a must-have for fans of Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails. Here is our conversation on the making of 9-Inch Reggae. Here we are, Conversational Liner Notes. Nate Bridges, John Roy, Brandon Nisnik, Tony Devonish from Revelation. We're talking about it's all of our joint project we put together in, what year was this? 2022? Is this when this one came out? 2021?
23, was it?
Yeah.
22. Well, 22 was when we founded in August, Escape Hatch.
Ah, yeah.
So I put the order in 22 because I ordered this one and 6 others at the same time, which is a massive amount of money to throw down. But this, actually, this one went through Pirates because of the color combination.
Right.
Because I really wanted to have this crazy marble color.
Yeah.
For whoever has the best picture, you can show that.
Yeah.
Or Nate, you can edit later and drop that in or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about the 9-Inch Reggae EP that came out. This was one of the many COVID projects I think we all were involved in from that period of time. And yeah, like John was saying, this has it's hard to tell in the light, but it has
you've got it there.
Amazing kind of translucent, kind of marbly blue vinyl. And yeah, it is mainly a split EP, a single on side A, featuring Rebelation doing Every Day Is Exactly the Same. And on the flip side, the B-side, Wise Owl's cover of Right Where It Belongs, both 9-Inch Nails songs. And then also on each side is a dub that I did, Black Market Dub. This one is so cool, especially like all the packaging. Was this
that was Michael Buchmiller. Yeah,
Michael Buchmiller.
Escape Hatch.
Absolutely
genius.
Absolutely nails the 9-Inch Nails aesthetic, to a T. It's like insane. Like when I saw this, I was just like, we might
that's a 9-Inch Nails record.
Yeah, like we might be fooling people here. Like they might think this is a Trent project or something. I would love to just ask, start with you, Tony. Like how did this come together? How did were you working on just some 9-Inch Nails stuff, and did you get in touch? Did John reach out to you, or how did this all come together?
Well, I mean, John and I were doing lots of different things together at that time. Well, and since
still do, still bother you.
You play guitar on tons of Escape Hatch, or you play on tons of Escape Hatch stuff. I see you all the time. On
so. Which is super cool. I love it. It's brilliant. But the 9-Inch Nails thing. So, I mean, I've been a 9-Inch Nails fan, since, since their first single in '89 came out, and then that Pretty Hate Machine album. I've been a fan since, been, into them. I mean, I'd never really, as a band, we'd never really done covers because we were rubbish at it. We weren't good enough, musicians, to do covers, right? So, and we had tons of our own stuff, and that's what we did, And I think over time, as we became more proficient as musicians, and probably also then working with John on some covers projects, kind of opened up the door and the possibilities. And I think, being in a reggae band, I think, there were some notes, John, that we did for this record. And some of it I talked about, like my kind of growing up in an environment like, kind of the post-punk thing in a town, not where I live now, where, kind of like sound system culture was a big deal. There was quite a reggae scene, and we'd have local festivals that would have, you'd have hardcore bands and reggae bands playing, and then there'd be sound systems set up around the edge that would be playing, the dancehall tunes or whatever, wherever reggae was at that time, and growing up in that kind of, I guess, that 1980s post-punk thing, Bauhaus were a big deal for me, and Bauhaus were heavily influenced, and played, some real dubby stuff, and were obviously heavily influenced by roots, particularly the 70s roots stuff. So I guess it's kind of like, this was a kind of combination of all those kind of different influences and areas coming together. And I just was listening to that With Teeth album, and that tune came on. I wouldn't say I have a go-to Nine Inch Nails album, but because they're all great, and like with most of my kind of favorite artists, I tend to listen to their most recent release. That tends to be where I'm at, and I guess as musicians we probably get that, right? Because people might want to hear your hits or whatever it might be live, but you want to be playing your new stuff because that's what you dig and that's what you're into and that's where you're at. And I guess, but that With Teeth album, I do go back to that probably more than Downward Spiral or The Fragile. I'll probably go to With Teeth, and I got to see them on that tour as well, which was incredible.
That With Teeth record
listen to that tune.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate,
no, you're good. That With Teeth record is so like, it's full of so many like poppy songs, like that's like a lot of their like biggest like commercial hits are all from that record.
Which was Trent's intent with that record.
Really?
It kind of felt like I read an interview with him where he was talking about what they'd done previously, and which was all amazing. I mean, The Fragile was amazing, right? From a musical soundscape perspective. And he said, been doing that, and just felt like he just wanted to put out a banger.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the process like Bowie went through, and they were buddies too, especially around that time.
Lots of parallels there, man.
Yeah, like Bowie had went through that huge stretch in the 70s where he just was like this artistic like powerhouse, and like, it's like if you knew, you knew, but by the 80s he just was kind of like, I've proven that I can make like the deep artistic type of music, like where's my platinum selling album, like why can't I have that, and I'm sure to some extent that was kind of how it was for Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails at the time.
And I think it's still done like with Bowie, like it's still full on integrity. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely.
It's like 100% Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, like they couldn't make something like without artistic merit if they tried. It's like
no, indeed, I agree. Yeah.
To be honest, on my end, I wasn't pro Nine Inch Nails back in the 80s. I was like, this isn't as strong as Ministry. This isn't as strong as Skinny.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right? To me, it's like, this is more pop.
Yeah.
But that's also, me in the 80s in my teens. Pop's crap. Fuck pop. Right? I only want to hear. I only want to hear what I want to hear. This is too pop. This is a sellout. Would I be caught dead listening to Depeche Mode? Maybe if I was on a date with somebody who was listening to it.
That's so funny.
Right? Oh, you like Nine Inch Nails? Oh, so you like the pop stuff. You don't like the really hard stuff, huh? Like Front 242, we're not getting samples from Hellraiser in our music. What the hell?
First impressions are strong though, right? Like, cause I mean, the most poppy thing that he had made before With Teeth is Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
The very first one.
Yeah.
And then kind of went into that experimental zone.
But looking back on it, hindsight is 20/20 and going, okay, well, Trent can really do this. It's sort of like thinking, let's go backwards for like Oingo Boingo. Would you think that Danny Elfman could do movie soundtracks? Perhaps, perhaps not. Like, that's interesting material, and that's really cool pop.
Would you think Trent Reznor could do movie soundtracks in 1990? Like, I'm sure nobody had that on their radar.
Right. And so it's sort of like, oh, well, look at the length and breadth of his career. Again, also going backwards, if I think Ministry, Every Day is Halloween, like Al Jorgensen followed the same archetype in that sense, is that I'm going to make this pop record so that I can get the money to do the stuff that I feel like doing. Or at least that's what that's what I've heard in interviews. And it seems that seems the trajectory. Like, there would be no Land of Rape and Honey without Every Day is Halloween.
Yeah.
There would be no Mind is a Terrible Thing to Waste Terrible Thing to Taste, excuse me, without having to do, Every Day is Halloween.
Yeah.
So,
John, do you think it's a conscious decision from those guys? Do you think it is at the time a conscious decision, or is it just where they go and then they reflect on it and then that's what they need to do to get to where they're at? Because, every record you make, you need to do to get to the next point, right?
They're hyper intelligent people that know how to make these songs. And they also knew enough, smarter than me, obviously. They knew enough to get that money from the people that have the money and put something out that was commercially viable. It's kind of like Terry Gilliam making Time Bandits. It's the same great freaking movie, incredible writing, incredible story, but kids can see it. He's not going to go out there and do 12 Monkeys and go, hey, everybody, I did 12 Monkeys.
Right.
Like, I'll see it, but you got to make something that is palatable to the masses, or to the folks that have the pockets.
One for you, one for them.
Yeah.
You got to do that sometimes.
2 for you, 1, 2 for me. 3 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me.
How about you, Brandon? How did you get involved in this? And were you just also concurrently working on Nine Inch Nails? And what was the idea from you, John, just to say, hey, I have 2 friends that are both working on Nine Inch Nails. Let's throw this together.
Yeah. So Tony sent me over like 4 or 5 tracks he was working on. I'm like, let me play with these. And then Brandon sent over, I can't remember how many tracks you sent over, but I'm like, what? Really? Oh, come on. We just have to make a record. Obviously, 9 Inch Nails and 9 Inch Nails from 100 miles away and from 2,000 miles away, or 4,000 miles away. And you're both on the same path without having talked to each other. It has to come together. It has to come together.
Yeah. Both of the songs are from With Teeth.
Yeah.
Right.
What are the odds?
It writes itself, people. But
yeah. Completely independent. I
would have assumed you guys coordinated that.
Nope.
But wow.
There was no conversation.
That's awesome.
But it had to be. It's kind of like, you've got peanut butter and you've got chocolate. Let's make peanut butter cups together.
Yeah.
That was it.
In fact, this is the first time that Tony and I get to speak with each other right now.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because again, we've been on so many recordings together.
Exactly. I know.
It feels like,
I know it
we
feels
just stepped out of the rehearsal room.
It's completing such a circle to like, finally I get to actually talk to you. Feel like I know you. Yeah.
No, we're out here selling records together.
No time to talk.
We even met each other.
We got work to do. Yeah. No,
Tony had sent me all the stems for Every Day is Exactly the Same. Because you'd sent me stems for like 3 or 4 songs, and I'm like, I'm going to try and remix these and play with them. And I kept listening to the original 9 Inch Nails version when listening to Tony's stems. And can I make it even more closer to 9 Inch Nails and even deeper in the reggae, in the reggae genre, to just sort of tease that out of it. And then after I've done a mix for that, give it to Nate to do whatever magic he sees fit. So it kind of...
for us, like the intention, and sorry, Brandon, I know Nate was asking you about it.
No, it's okay.
But, for us, like it was, I was just listening to that tune and I could hear it on a one drop, like I could just hear the one drop in that tune. And it was like, right, well, let's have a play with that. So we had a play with it. And then we thought, right, okay, let's get this down. And we got it down and it was sounding, we were quite keen to like retain like all the kind of elements, if you like, that were in that tune, but on a reggae, and then how we kind of did it, and then what John did to it, I mean, there's quite a difference, even though it was like on a one drop, it was definitely on a reggae. It had all those components, but then, John kind of weaved his magic on it, and it took it someplace completely different to where we were at from a raw, 8 players in a studio, which was beautiful.
John, you do that a lot on a lot of Escape Hatch stuff. There's a layer of John Roy production sweetening going on that a lot of people probably aren't quite aware of. But your hand is in a lot of this stuff in ways that I think people aren't.
That's part of the joke of the smoke and mirrors. Like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this? No, I just put like 150 hours into it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Is I took it piece by piece, part by part. What else would this use? I think, okay, if this tune was done by blank band or in this genre or at this time, what would they go for? I mean, definitely all of you guys, honestly, all of 3 of you already understand that, because we talk about a guitar tone, or we talk about what the bass tone is, or what drummer did what in 1984 or 82 or 71 or 66. You're all 3 fully aware of what specific tones should be. So it's so much fun to work with you, because I'm not trying to explain it from nothing. When I go, hey, can we do like hollow body ES335? Yeah. What do you think? Orange amp or Vox? Send me both. Perfect. Great. Oh, you're going to do Les Paul Black Beauty on this? Okay. That's the tone we're going to find. Great. Do you want to wah this one? Do you want to double chuck this one? Are we doing this with a stepper beat? Are we doing this with a one drop? Are we doing this rockers? Is this rootsy? Does this swing? We pick all of these pieces of the puzzle, and I'd heard what Tony had with Revelation, with the band, and then I heard what Brandon had. And then, okay, let's make this thing so it's imminently dubbable by one particular person named Nate.
Yes.
So like my mix is in essence secondary just to having something that is perfect ingredients for you to build that dub version of the tune.
Yeah. Okay. One more question for Tony, and then I promise I'll actually ask Brandon something. So Tony, you have your whole band, Rebelation, like on this. So what was it like actually tracking this? Did you guys track it piece by piece, like one at a time, like separately? Were you guys together in a room? Because I know how Brandon tracked it, and I'm curious what the contrast is between how you guys approached actually making these songs.
I guess we do it old school, traditional. We go into a studio, work with an engineer, and we track it. Sometimes, quite often, we will track bass, drums, and a rhythm guitar. And then we work with an amazing engineer called Izzy. Like, she records things so well, that then it makes it easier, I guess, in many respects for whoever's mixing it to be able to, not have issues. But then I guess then we retrack the bass, retrack the guitar, then overlay everything else, and then whatever else needs to be done. That's how we do it.
Nice. So you guys,
kind of traditional, old school way.
super, super old school. Like, so you guys go in, do basics kind of together, and then you go in and just replace, overdub whatever needs to be fixed. And then what did you guys have Vicky singing in the room with you, or was that like a later thing? Did you have like a scratch vocal thing going on while you recorded, or how was the vocal approached?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, we'd have her in the room doing a guide, and quite often we'll do that. She'll be up, but she lives literally the other side of the country. You know, she's like 8 hours away, about as far away on this island as you can get. Although she's probably one of the only people in the band that's actually from where we're based, but she lives like the other side of the country. So she's not always there when we start the session, but she'll be there by at some point. And I think, if I remember rightly, for this particular session, we tracked it without a vocal, but we had recorded it. We'd rehearsed it quite a bit with, and our drummer is he's a one-take wonder.
Nice.
But he prepares like no one else. Like he has sheets of notes, and he brings them to rehearsal. So if we're then prepping for a show, and we can't quite remember what we did, how do we do that track? He's got it. But he really preps. So
I love
for getting that down for him, he knew.
I love drummers like that. Our actually, this band, the shirt I'm wearing, me and Brandon were in this band, Nigel Walsh and the Last Band on Earth. Our drummer was like that too. It's like he had meticulous notes of every single song, and it's just like, if I don't remember, it's okay because I can just look at him because he's like the wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta love that.
John Kyle, the antithesis of the stereotype about drummers, where you call the title and they're like, "Which one is that?" That's how we go. Yeah. Opposite of that. Love it.
So he's, and what we've started to get him to do is to do a second take. That's in this kind of, we're just kind of getting to the end of an album recording process, which again is old fashioned, right, these days, albums. But I think they're still relevant. And we've been getting him to do second takes. And then he's like, nah, we'll just go with the first.
Nice.
Like once he's tracked a second or he's tried another fill, he's like, no, it was much better first time round. It's a pleasure to work with, unlike some drummers I've worked with.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So by contrast to that, like kind of very, like you said, Tony, very old school in the studio, kind of tracking everything together and then assembling it piece by piece and all that. By contrast, Brandon, I'm familiar with how you tracked your track, because it's pretty much the same way I would approach it. But for the nerds out there, how did you approach tracking right where it belongs by contrast?
Yeah, well, I did it by myself is the biggest difference. But I start with the drums, right? So we use Nate and I both use a database of drums that are by a drummer from the UK named Horseman. Horseman-drums.com. And so there's basically just like a library of different reggae drum performances, multi-tracks. Yeah, Tony's writing it down. Yeah. And it is like 100% authentic performances, 100% authentic recording techniques, so you're getting multi-track drums exactly as you would hope to be getting them. And so that's really like the basis for the authenticity of the reggae feel for any track that I'm making.
All tracked by Prince Fatty too.
Yeah.
He's the recording engineer for all that stuff.
Yeah, Prince Fatty engineered all of it. And yeah, I don't know. I always want to start that way. I'm a real believer that the quality of the drum performance is the weakest link in the track, both live and on a recording. Basically, the entire ensemble, the entire band is sort of capped by how good the drums sound. Yeah. A band can only sound as good as the drums do. So I want to start with an authentic performance. And so basically I just, kind of surfed through that whole library of drum performances and just kind of playing along with it and finding the one that will fit this song. And this one was more challenging to find a drum pattern that suited the song right where it belongs. Sometimes there's like an abundance of options. Like, oh, wow, we could go this way, we could go that way. But right where it belongs has like a really distinctive shuffle. It swung. And even though the original song is just straight eighth notes on the bass and one melody and a vocal performance, there's only 3 elements. There's not even any chords, right? The chord shape is implied by the relationship between the bass, which is just playing octaves. There's not even any fifths or anything in the bass. The chord shape is implied by the 2 melodies, but there's a swing to it. And so I was experimenting like, okay, what if we do it straight? But it felt like a different song. And the whole thing fell apart because the song is so genius. It's held together. It's like a house of toothpicks, It's held together just so. It's stripped down to its minimum components. And if you shift one, the other components don't like hold enough weight for it to be an interesting song anymore. So the swing had to be in there for that little spice, for it to be interesting enough to keep listening to this for 2.5 verses before something happens, So I ended up going with this swung 1 drop. I wanted to keep that like distorted synth bass sound. So and then basically once the drums were there, I make the edits so all the drum fills are happening where I want them to be, and the transitions and the dynamics are happening where I want them to be. And then I just, recorded the bass, the guitars, the keys, and sang on top of it. And
no biggie, just everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be really good, but sometimes it can be really bad. Like I used to do stuff all by myself that I listen back to now, and I'm like, man, that could have used one more brain on it. Holy crap! But
yes.
I could say honestly, I don't think I've ever felt that way about stuff you've produced entirely yourself, Brandon. It's like you're always like, man, your stuff is always just like fantastic. But
don't tell him
thanks,
that.
Man.
Oh,
that's yeah. I'm gonna cut that out.
I was gonna go big head.
Nate, I think there's something that Brandon's saying there about there's like 3 elements to that tune, right? So there's something about the genius of Trent Reznor, right? Mm-hmm. Is that he implies things that aren't there, but it sounds like it's happening. It sounds like it's there. Mm-hmm. There's something incredible about that. And Brandon and I haven't had these conversations. We were doing these things in parallel, across an ocean and a continent. And, one of the things that when we were trying to get our heads around this track, the form, was, the 1 drop. Yeah. That's fine. It sits in it real nice. But the form, which is very simple, it sounds like it should be in a minor key, but there's no minor chords. It's all major chords.
Right.
But it sounds like, it sounds like, we were like, we were scratching our heads, a little bit to start off with, because, couldn't quite believe that we'd got it right. And again, that's like, to me, that's the genius of Trent Reznor, is that, he builds these things, but it's what's not there, that actually is what you hear.
Brandon, we talked about this on me and Brandon have a podcast together called Playback, and we actually did an episode on Pretty Hate Machine. And I believe we talked about this phenomenon, which is that Trent Reznor he writes in a specific mode that is like Trent Reznor-esque. We
there's
have
the
like,
Trent Reznor scale.
yeah, the Trent Reznor scale. So we like us. There's like a certain mode and a certain scale that we now, I think, culturally like assume as like it has like a Trent Reznor sound to it. It just happens to be a mode and a scale that a lot of people just don't write in.
Yeah. So it's. So basically, the top of it is major and the bottom of it is minor. So it's the major scale, except the 6th and the 7th are minor.
Yeah.
So it's like the Aeolian, but it has a major third.
Okay.
And
so there's science behind it.
Yes.
Yes.
Actual.
So he definitely uses it in right where it belongs, but I'm not sure what. If it's the same exact thing in everything in every day is exactly the same or not, but if it isn't, it's something very similar because like you say, it sounds like it's minor, but every chord is major. So that means he's strategically placing it in places where the third of every chord is a major one. However, there's like minor sixths and minor sevenths in the melody. You know what I mean? He's singing minor degrees over major chords,
right.
and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's even more complicated than what I'm saying. But he's a genius like that.
He's basically using like he's kind of strategically using like dissonance almost over major chords to. It does sound kind of. It has that classic like dystopian kind of unsettling.
Yeah, because it's not just the performance. Like I feel like like when I was a teenager, like before I really understood very much about music, I would have just assumed that the reason why it feels so mournful is because of the performance, because of the way that he sings it.
No, it's way deeper. It's like layers deeper than that. Yeah.
Way more sophisticated than just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he's literally, it almost feels like he's letting the synth do the work. I'm thinking about, the Ghosts series.
Yes.
I'm thinking even like, even some of the more recent kind of EPs, and then obviously the Tron record.
Yes.
It almost feels like because we've Atticus Ross as well, right? So they almost feels like they're letting the kind of machine, they're letting the synth kind of almost like dictate the direction.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not doing that. Every single thing is measured, right, and considered. But
yes,
it still sounds I don't know. It's still got a signature. It's still watermarked Trent Reznor.
That's
it's got
word signature.
That's
signature.
Yeah.
Because Bowie has the same signature, regardless of what it is, regardless of the decade.
And it's in the music itself.
Yeah, right.
It's not
in the composition.
Waters has that signature, and we've talked about it before. Is that Tom York has that signature?
Yes.
I was gonna bring up Radiohead. I keep while we're talking about Trent Reznor, I keep thinking about really. I don't know how often they're kind of Nine Inch Nails and Radiohead are kind of drawn in parallel, but I think they should be, because for me it almost feels like Nine Inch Nails kind of feels like the darker, more aggressive, like American Radiohead. Yeah, like they're both kind of playing in a similar thematic sandbox with all the kind of dystopian, dark, sci-fi horror future they're kind of implying in all their work. Obviously, Radiohead is a little more. I don't know how to put it. Nine Inch Nails is really aggressive, and Radiohead is not. But I think they are kind of musically probably distant cousins, maybe closer cousins than I think people really realize. That same
do you think
kind
it's the uniqueness of what they do?
Yeah,
that makes them almost appear to be, and obviously, just incredible creative musicianship, I guess, and ideas, there's definitely some parallels.
Yes.
Yeah. I think their signature, like you say, Tony, the signature, I think their signatures resemble each other.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to ask them if Nine Inch Nails were an influence on what they were doing, because
I'm sure,
there's probably 5 years apart. I think probably Nine Inch Nails are probably 5 years older. I'm thinking we're talking like 92, 93 Radiohead, I think.
Yeah, I think you're
first doing that.
You're about
Pablo Honey record, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pablo Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we got to put the spot on Nate. So you made 2 dubs on this record.
I did, yeah. So I felt around this time, this was probably like, okay, so when I started doing Black Market Dub, I was doing it completely alone. And it was really just a way for me to kind of sharpen my skills as a producer, engineer, just to get some creative energy out, just to, I don't know, start rolling a rock down the hill and hopefully start gathering some moss and seeing what I could do myself creatively, eventually bringing Brandon in. But the real reason I started doing it was because I thought, okay, nobody's just going to ask me to dub their stuff, sight unseen. I have no background. I don't have anything I've ever dubbed out for any bands, right? So I basically need like a resume to show that like I know how to do this, and that like if you send me a track, like I can dub your stuff and it'll be cool, and I can start, appearing on, things like this, honestly. But it, that takes a while, and this was honestly one of the first things that somebody asked me to do that was outside of my immediate kind of Black Market Dub, discography, if you will. So I was like really nervous to do this. I was really excited to do it. But I felt really lucky that, I was able to, my approach for this was to like take what Brandon did and take what Tony did and, listen to it, hear how similar they were, because obviously they're 2 Nine Inch Nails songs from the same writer, same album. But also they were very different, right? I mean, we just went over how differently you guys produced this material. Couldn't be more different, honestly, when it comes to producing a track. So I've kind of viewed my role in this project as, I need to be the glue. I need to further glue these 2 disparate projects together. So like I wanted to approach the Rebelation track the same way I approached the Wise Owl track. So I had them all up in like basically the same session, same settings, same effects. Like I wanted it to feel like you're kind of going like this, like weaving all 4 tracks together, right? That there is like a common thread. Like you listen to track 1, you listen to side A track 1, and you get a certain feeling. And then when you listen to track 2, it's maybe a different feeling. But by the time you get to the end of the album, track 2 on side B, it kind of harkens back to the sounds and flavors you were getting from side A, from the dub. So it's kind of a way, I was viewing it as kind of a way to further kind of cement the relationship between the tracks and the work that you guys already did. I had a blast doing it. I was always kind of second guessing and this is something I'm always struggling with when it comes to dub, is like how much to leave the song intact and how much to kind of push it forward with like, the dub elements. And the cool thing about this is oftentimes I'm inclined to leave the song more intact because I want people to enjoy the dub and enjoy the song, right? But the cool thing with this was I didn't really feel that pressure because it was appearing back to back with the original track. So actually, I kind of had the opposite approach that I usually have, which was that like I should fuck these up. Like I should really get in
dismantle
there.
it.
Yeah, because why not? Why not? If you want to hear the original version, it's rewind it. Just put your needle back. In 2 minutes. So I had a blast, and yeah, this is when I was in Nashville as well. So I don't know. I just felt super lucky to have gotten the call for this. And I'm like a huge vinyl nerd. So like getting in touch with John, and like I was giddy at the prospect of just being able to appear on a piece of vinyl. It's like my dream is to leave behind, like me and Brandon have done, I think we're up to almost 45 Black Market Dub EPs, and not even counting all the stuff Brandon's done as well. And that's all great. And when I look at our discography online, I'm like, that's all cool. But the ones I really count, like in my heart, are these ones. Like this is the real shit that I've like actually done. And this is the shit that when they close down the Bandcamp servers someday, this is still going to be somewhere, somebody's still going to be able to listen to this. So these are the ones that really count for me. So I love it. And like honestly, I don't know about you, I'd be curious to hear what you guys say, but like the fan response to this one too has been awesome. Like there was a moment where this got passed around on like a Nine Inch Nails fan group. I think it was on Facebook or something about a year ago. And it was crazy because I got like 20, 30 orders for it in like a week out of the blue. Like it was just like completely out of nowhere. But I've only heard good things from Nine Inch Nails fans, which I can't say for stuff I've done to other artists. But how is the response been to this for you, Tony, from Revelation fans? Do the fans?
Yeah,
are they like get back to reggae? Quit playing the sad crap.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they dig it. I mean, people are digging it. I mean, we're still getting a lot of airplay, like radio airplay for the track. I was just trying to look at the stats just now, but but literally hundreds of plays on radio stations around the world. And yeah, I mean, people are digging it. They're digging the fact that it's a piece of vinyl.
Yep.
Like I say, that's an important thing to some fans. They really want vinyls, and not, there's not much of our stuff that's been out on vinyl, because like we kind of, I guess we really hit the ground running during the kind of CD era.
Sure.
And then vinyl was kind of, and the label we were on for many years only did CDs.
Right.
And then, then eventually they succumbed to the digital. Actually, we were on a different label who then reissued all our back catalogue digitally, because like that was like a new thing. So, I kind of feel like we should probably go back and release some of our back catalogue on vinyl, because then it counts, like you say. But the demand is there for it. So yeah, people are digging it, and and Nine Inch Nails fans are loving it.
Yes,
as you say, we had orders from Nine Inch Nails fans, and people love it. And funny enough, when the Tron record came out, suddenly there was a big spike again in airplay, in listens on digital channels.
Absolutely.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So probably one more question for you guys before we wrap up. If you guys could do a part 2 of this record, hypothetically, if you could pick another Nine Inch Nails song to reggae-fy,
oh man,
what would you do? We'll start with Brandon, because I want to put Brandon.
It's a really good question. Well, I might pick Head Like a Hole.
Ooh.
And one of the reasons...
How would you do
Biting off a tough piece right there.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. That's such an aggressive song. I don't know how you could reggae that.
Well, I like the challenge. Yeah. and I think, even doing Right Where It Belongs, part of the reason for picking that was like for the challenge of it for me. But because the interesting thing, so I'm like a total early Nine Inch Nails listener person. And in fact, still to this day, I have never listened to With Teeth all the way through.
Whoa. Wow.
So
you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. The way that I found out about this song in the first place is, have you guys ever seen that episode of Black Mirror that has Miley Cyrus in it?
Oh yeah. She's like a pop star in it, right?
Yes. Yeah. She plays a pop star in this episode of the show Black Mirror. right? Like super dystopian, like modern Twilight Zone show, right? And her pop star persona, in total like girl power pops, much like how she is in real life. It's genius satire, because the two songs that her fictional pop star character has in that episode are reinterpreted versions of Nine Inch Nails songs. One of them is Head Like a Hole, and the other one is Right Where It Belongs. But they're reinterpreted musically, and the lyrics are rewritten to like satirize the like sort of like hollow confidence that's like marketed to young girls in songs like Wrecking Ball,
right?
Baby You're a Firework, stuff like that. So these songs where the original is about like despair and like like the lyric, when you look at your reflection, is it all you want it to be, is like is changed to be, when I look at my reflection, it's everything I want it to be. and it's like an obvious lampooning of that whole way that these ideas are like marketed to children and stuff. And it's freaking genius. And the new versions of it are dope. They're amazing. It's like my favorite thing that Miley Cyrus has ever done. And so that led me to look, because I recognized the Head Like a Hole reinterpolation, but I didn't recognize the other one. So I looked into it and found the song Right Where It Belongs. I'm like, oh my God,
yes,
this song is friggin' genius. I got to do this.
So you'd want to complete the Miley Cyrus duo.
Wise Owl's homage to Miley Cyrus.
It's not even a Nine Inch Nails tribute at that point. It's a Miley Cyrus.
It really is. No, me doing this song really is more of a Miley Cyrus tribute than it is Trent Reznor. Yeah.
You know what? I think Miley Cyrus is awesome, actually.
I do too.
She's like a total badass and like a fantastic singer. Like she's a performer. So I met her before in my travels in the music industry, just as an engineer. Yeah,
she's
a real one.
She's legit. She's the real deal. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Tony?
I need to check out them tunes. Yeah, I need to check out them tunes, and I'm making a note. Made a note to check them out, Brandon.
Nice.
So thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
So if you and Revelation could do another Nine Inch Nails tune, reggae-fied, what do you think you guys would tackle?
So, normally I'd want to give this some thought, Nate.
Sure.
But on
the spot.
But on the spot like this, which I guess is the point of asking these questions on the spot, is to see what the response is. I think I'd go. Do you know La Mer? It's an instrumental that's on the Fragile.
Oh, cool.
And you kind of like it's got this no, hold on, hear me now. Like so again, in true kind of Trent genius style, and I guess there's some kind of jazz influence on this tune, but there's like a piano which kind of sounds like the kind of ebb and flow of the water, of the sea, and it goes over this tune in a completely different time signature. It's and the tune kind of builds. So again, for me, it'd still be like a heavy reggae kind of. It'd be quite a heavy one.
Oh, that's cool.
But I kind of like the way that kind of layers up, and particularly as we've got, there's quite a few players in the band. Some of them are very good musicians, not I. Some of them are like, would really enjoy that challenge. And I think, we'd create something quite cool that similarly would kind of still, you'd hear that tune, but it would go in a different kind of direction, because I think, and I love that tune. It's really kind of different, but it's still Trent all over.
Yeah. I'm just to be fair, just because I put you guys on the spot, I'll try and think of one here.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going off of because the tempo has to be right. The feel has to be right. You don't want to get into a situation where all of a sudden you're doing like a Nine Inch Nails ska tune or something. It's gotta be kind of in that between 70 to 90 BPM range. I can just off the top of my head, just imagining how it goes, I could hear Terrible Lie from Pretty Hate Machine. That could be a good one.
Yeah, I'd say pick Pretty Hate Machine once, because that way you can, make an EP with that as well.
Yeah, that makes me realize I would probably want to change mine. I would probably do
changes. You can't change it. No.
No.
Nope.
John, we're formulating a new Black Market album right now.
Yeah. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Well, the positive about anything that's up tempo is to just make it a stepper.
Yeah.
And you can still dub it.
Yeah.
That's true.
And honestly, doing a stepper version of a dub is a bit more of the modern UK dub experience.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's what I was thinking for that tune. I was thinking like it's a foot to the floor.
Yeah.
But still not super up tempo either.
Yeah.
You're here to hear first, folks.
Yeah.
What song would you do, John?
Yeah, John, do you got one?
No, like I said, I'd probably do anything off of Pretty Hate Machine that drives enough to turn it into a stepper.
Yeah.
I'm looking down the track list now of Pretty Hate Machine, thinking which one.
For me, like when I think about again Ministry, you could turn so many of the Ministry songs. It is somewhere between Bela Lugosi's Dead and Mirror in the Bathroom. And those are both steppers.
Yeah.
I'm a big rockers feel guy.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining Terrible Lie with like a rockers feel, and it would work. I already know it would work. I can hear it in my brain.
So some sugar daddy somewhere just come up with like $20,000. We'll rock this for you.
Yeah.
We'll make you a specific album.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Wu-Tang album. We made one album for this person.
I think Trent is the sugar daddy.
There you go.
know what?
Trent, help us out, buddy.
Trent Reznor, he is one of the coolest. He's I think in the industry, he's probably one of the most like remix cover friendly people like in the music industry. Like I get the feeling that he kind of loves hearing stuff like this. So
he did a whole album, didn't he, where he just put the stems out and said
gave the stems
do stuff with his tune.
So
which is something that Radiohead did too.
Radiohead did it,
and there's more parallels there. I mean, it'd be really interesting to know what Trent would think. I mean, I understand that, I don't know if they still do, but for many years, Nine Inch Nails rehearsal space was somewhere in the Caribbean.
Oh.
Right. I don't know if it was Jamaica. But interestingly, Radiohead were asked about the Easy Star record, which is incredible, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what an incredible record.
I love that.
It's one of my favorite records ever made.
It's my favorite Easy Star thing.
It's unbelievable. It's incredible. Because again, I think it's similar to how kind of Brandon and us captured that, it sounds like a Nine Inch Nails track.
Yeah.
All of those tunes
they sound like Radiohead.
It's amazing. They are all Radiohead tunes.
Yeah.
They've not changed it, but it's a reggae, But Radiohead were asked what they thought about it.
What'd they say?
They said it was genius.
Right.
As they should.
Smart guys, those Radiohead.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, they said anything else. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is genius.
It is.
You kind of never quite know, how someone's gonna, how someone's gonna react to, a reinterpretation of. I
mean, Radio Dread is like, that album is single-handedly like the origin of Wise Owl. And, and
okay.
the way the whole approach that I take to making reggae, like I heard that, I'm like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Just do this.
Yeah.
To more music,
And for me, Radio Dread, coming out off the heels of Dub Side of the Moon, it like couches those albums together in a way that I never would have like imagined, and it started making me think of Radiohead as like the 90s Pink Floyd, which I still kind of think of like they are, in a weird way, despite being an alt rock band, and many of those bands being kind of like a response against the prog bands of the 70s. Radiohead is so, and Nine Inch Nails for that matter, they are so musically complex and articulate that it's kind of hard not to compare something like OK Computer with Dark Side of the Moon.
So
It's like
now,
spiritual successor.
now Easy Star needs to do a Muse album. See what I'm saying?
Sure.
Right. The next.
That's another band that would not exist without Nine Inch Nails and Radiohead. Like, you know, they all kind of have that shared kind of weird dystopian vibe. But anyway, wow, guys, this was super fun. It was really great to finally get to talk to you, Tony. Really great to finally get to, just talk about this awesome piece of work that I'm so proud to be on with all of you guys.
Amen.
I guess to close it out, we should just say, if you're out there listening to this, first and foremost, get this into Trent Reznor's ears. I think all of us want you.
Take pictures of it and tag him.
Yeah. Maybe Miley is down to finance the sequel.
Sure.
Miley.
Sure. So most importantly,
Miley get involved in the sequel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Brilliant.
Dream come true.
Most importantly, somebody out there get Miley Cyrus and Trent Reznor to call us. That would be the most important thing. Second most important thing is if you're looking to buy a copy of this, definitely in the United States, you can go to escapepatchrecords.com. That is probably the best place to get this. We still have a few copies on our Bandcamp, blackmarketdub.bandcamp.com. I think I'm only down to like a dozen left, maybe. And at the time,
give them money.
Yeah, give us money. And Tony, I imagine you still have a few copies of this. Where can fans over on your side of the pond grab a copy?
Yeah, just revelation.co.uk. We've got a store on there, which has it. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
And we've still got a few left.
Awesome. Love it. Well, Tony Devenish from Rebelation, Brandon Isnick, Wise Owl, and Black Market Dub, John Roy, Escape Patch Records, and Smoke and Mirror Sound System. Follow all of our stuff on various socials, Instagram, Bandcamp, all that good stuff. And thank you guys for doing this, and we will see you on the next one.
And I can't
Thanks so much, guys.
I can't say it enough. The record and the jacket speak for themselves.
Yes.
The music is fantastic, but the record also just looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It works with the sound. It belongs. All of these pieces work together. Yeah.
That's right where it belongs.
Yeah, right where it belongs. Amazing. But no, that's the thing with all Escape Patch products, man. It's like they're all things that, like, okay, this actually is worth owning. Yeah. It's not just, the song is on vinyl. Okay, no, there's more to it. There's like, okay, there's actually a reason to own this. This is amazing. You know?
Yeah. Even the center labels are black and gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the sleeve is black. And the Mike Buchmiller, when he was building the art for it, I said red, gold, and green, but do it in very dulcet tones. So his red is rust or blood.
Right.
That's how genius it is.
It's like is calcification, and it's copper that has
it's oxidized. Yeah.
So the whole thing has that. Like, what would Trent
so genius
make?
It's red, gold, and green.
Yeah.
It is red, gold, and green. That's insane.
And on that thing, the whole
in your hands, you have to see it.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And on that red, gold, and green theme, actually, you know, one of the countries that has played this on the radio is Jamaica, which is pretty cool, right?
That's amazing.
Nice.
All right. Well, everybody out there listening, you have your marching orders. Call Trent Reznor for us and buy a copy of this while you still can before it sells out. All right. Can't thank you guys enough. This was super fun.
Thank you, Nate.
Hey, thanks ever so much, guys. Great to see you.